My tips and tricks for this last video is going to be on forms. I've been using this quite a bit this last week. I really like forms on Google. The first one we did, I am the senior sponsor, so I did a form that would be for the senior trip, giving them suggestions of what they wanted, what different activities they could do for that. Let me get into the senior trip form first. And so this was sent to the group of all seniors, and then what came back was the responses here. And I like the way it's all set out with showing what the username is. I had it set up so that it automatically showed their username and what activities they wanted to do here, and then also any other ideas they had for the trip. One thing that I just found out about, though, is under the form is if you click responses and you go to summary of responses, it'll do a bar graph for you and showing what their favorite activities were. And I really like that. I think the students will really enjoy seeing the visual of that. So that has quickly become forms is becoming one of my favorite things. The next one I wanted to show you was I had learned about this. I did a form called sample questions. In the training, it had talked about using pages and how you could set it up so that you could give a question for the people to answer that are filling this out. I set it up for where they would write their name and then they could mark their role in this school. And if they marked it for parent, it is set up to go to page 3. If it's for student, it's to go to page 2. And if it's teacher, it's to go to page 4. And I had certain things that the students would do, and then it would flip to a page for the parent and have a question there, and one for the teachers. So I'll show you what this looks like live. Okay, this is how it would work. Basically, this page of the form is very simple, but then if they click the parent and continue, and I like the progress bar here too. It's requiring my name, excuse me. If I click continue, the parents then could fill something in. This could be used for meetings. It could be used for just general survey of the parents. Let's go back and see what the student would look like. And again, I set this up for the seniors with their senior trip since that's been on my mind. I put a picture in. You can also put a video in if you would like, asking what their favorite restaurants. And this particular one was they could check all that they liked. The favorite activity, they could only check one. It would force them to choose one. And then I also did a grid to see how that would work, and then a paragraph. And then they would have to submit it. Then I also had one page that was for the teacher. So the same form could be used for 3 different groups of people. And I was trying out the different forms of questions. And so I used the scale for this one, and then also where they could type in a paragraph and a date for setting up a meeting. So I really like the way that one worked too. And then the last one was talking about Flubaroo. And so I tried a quiz for my keyboarding class, and I'll show you the live form for that. I set it up with multiple choice questions, and they could answer, only one answer could be chosen. Then they would submit it. And then after they have done that, it would populate into responses. And from this, the top one is the one that I had set up as the answer sheet. And then with the add-on of Flubaroo, I can grade the assignment, and it will determine whether the right answers were put in or not. Now, I did all of these under my name, so it's not showing up quite right, but I can set it up for 1 point for each of these, and then continue, and then it will grade for me. Oh, it asked me which one should be used as the answer key, and it happens to be the top one. And then it will grade it for me. Oh, looks like there's a problem with it, but it did work the time before this. Oh, there it comes. And it's only coming up with one answer, even though I answered several times, but it shows that I had 3 attempts because it was I was attempting to see how it worked, and then whether they had 100% or whatever. So I really like this part of it. I think I will use that for a quiz.